another person has popped out when it came to Diddy. Another victim. Yes. This is so crazy, Chad. I kid you not. There's a new victim. I was actually thinking this victim was Gina Hyo, but it's actually not, because she did the interview and she recounted like a couple years of being with him. That was before the time frame that this new woman is talking about. But Diddy is facing his 12th lawsuit. And it was filed by a woman who is known in the lawsuit as Jane Doe. Clearly, she's hiding her name. There's another woman, which was a 17-year-old, who was going as Jane Doe. Subsequently, the court claimed, or not claimed, made a ruling to say she has to identify herself for the case to go forward. Jane Doe is a way you could protect yourself. You could file anonymously. Obviously, when it comes to situations like this, Diddy has a public-facing image. You might have a private, profile that this lawsuit could bring shame and other things that could, hurt you as a victim, in addition to what you're alleging, if it happens to be true. So new documents filed on Friday obtained by TMZ of Jane Doe is claiming that Bad Boy Records founder repeatedly assaulted her over a 4-year period, says one of the encounter even resulted in her getting pregnant. She ended up suffering a miscarriage. The anonymous woman is represented by the attorney Joseph L. Ciascio, which, by the way, I looked him up. He is a notorious personal injury lawyer out of New York City. She claimed that she met Diddy overseas in the fall of 2020 and was invited to join the rapper on an all-expense-paid trip. I will say this. There's so many women now. I happen to follow some of these women, so I see them all the time. Every weekend I see them on, like, private planes, or they're going somewhere, or I see them on trips. You never see no guys around. Sometimes you see them with other women. And I'm going to be very honest. That's the thing that's happening in the industry. You have these rich guys or rappers. Doesn't have to be executives like Diddy, just rappers. They'll fly out like 20 girls. They might end up shooting a music video. Everything is all expense paid. Sometimes these girls, if they're strippers, they'll ask for like, I'm gonna miss a week of work. Let me get 2 bands, 3 bands. And essentially these women fly out and, again, it's from what I've seen and how these rappers have done it. Cause like they talk about it. Again, I don't know if that's what Diddy was doing, but what I'm telling you, this is very public. Like this is like, I want to say every other rapper does this, but it's almost understood. Like these women, they're going there to fuck. Like it's like a fuck trip, but they get to be on a private jet. They get to go to Dubai. They get to be in Turks. They take mad pictures. You never see the guys. They just look like they're just like vacationing. But basically, to me, I feel it is escorting, right? You're coming out there. They give you a couple $1,000s. You're over here bragging on the gram, like basically advertising your services or your body to the next person who's going to fly you out. And then eventually you just get fucked. And for the most part, it looks like that's like normal in the industry. Anyway, that's what this seems to be describing. I'm not saying that this woman implicitly agreed or knew that she was getting flown out on an all-expense-paid trip to have sex with Diddy or anybody else. But that's what's being alleged, okay? Again, I only give you some of the context here. And yes, we're not defending Diddy. Like, there's too many allegations. At this point, if there's smoke, there's probably fire. Also, we got to take every allegation and be like, who knows if it's true? But even if it's true, if it's not true, like, we're not gonna like make too much about everything. All we know is Diddy was on some creep shit, clearly, right? All right. So the woman says she saw Diddy regularly between 2021 and 2022 with the rapper and his team arranging for her to meet up with him at his homes in LA, New York, and Miami. So basically she was a fly out thing, okay? Yo, I'm having a good weekend. I'm going to the Bahamas. You want to come through? Pay for your flight. That's what it seems like, right? Cool. However, she claims she did not travel at her own volition. That's a little dicey. You're getting flown out, but didn't want to go. I got to find the actual lawsuit, because why would you describe it as a all expense paid trip and then say, I didn't fly out of my own free will? Okay. All right. She claimed she didn't travel at her own volition, claiming Diddy and her staff would use coercive and harassing language to make her agree. I gotta find a lawsuit because I gotta see what language could he use if you're not in the same place as him. He doesn't employ you. He supposedly really has no, like you weren't relying on him financially, I guess, right? At least initially. Later she claims that she was, because she claims he would tell her not to work. But how would he force you to fly out? Okay, whatever. She says drivers would show up at her home to take her to Diddy, which left her felt like she had no choice in the matter. The woman also alleges that Diddy uses spiked drink alcohol beverages as a way to force her to do his bidding. Now, you see, this allegation here, I think, what you're going to see with civil suits is that you're going to see like a MO, a modus operandi, which is basically, whether it's true or not for this woman, it's probably a very easy thing to claim because like it's kind of what we've seen in most of these lawsuits. So again, she was talking about 3 or 4 years dealing with this guy. If she sat there and let Diddy spike her, well, let me not say, obviously she's claiming she didn't let him do shit. But damn, she knew this nigga was spiking her drink for 3 years? God damn, all right. Saying that Diddy forced her to have sexual intercourse in April 2022 when she was at his LA home. She claims to have sustained physical injuries from her encounters with Diddy, including one during spring break 2022, where she said she was left with purple bruises and a bite mark on her feet. She said she doesn't remember how she got the injuries. Okay. Did he do it? Did another woman do it? Did his dog do it? Did another girl? Like, whatever. Okay. The woman also accuses Diddy of forcing her to take ketamine and other drugs in July 2022, which resulted in her blacking out. It was after the alleged incident she said she got pregnant. Wow. So she's alleging she got pregnant after being forced to take some drugs. She blacked out. Clearly, I would guess she had sex. And I guess it must have been unprotected. And I'm guessing he must have ejaculated in her. And she became pregnant. Okay. According to the suit, one of Diddy's associates called her repeatedly, harassing her to get an abortion, but says she ultimately suffered a miscarriage. By the way, in subsequent media postings of this, they've identified the associate who called her repeatedly as Young Miami, if you guys don't know. I'll actually pull that up. Young Miami. Diddy is making his rounds around now. The lawsuit alleged Diddy impregnated the victim, and Young Miami forced her, or to get an abortion. Yeah. Oh, USA Today. Let me just go to USA Today. Cool. Let me take off my ads off of this too. They're going to be tight if I don't. What the fuck? This shit is slow as hell. Did I hear Pluto upstairs, man? This nigga always crying. All right, Jesus Christ. What's up with my computer? I think Diddy's hacking me. Pause. All right. Pause on this. All right, good. All right, here we go. So, yeah. So, it apparently it happened until July of this month, which this is a thing. Again, I'm not playing interception or whatever or defense for Diddy, but we do have to ask these questions if we're being fair, people. Could we be fair, or should we just say fuck Diddy and be like, fuck it, just could we be a little bit fair? There is a question to ask. If this is a recent event, I'm wondering if she was interviewed by the feds. Did she testify in the grand jury? Will she be a witness? Or who knows? She could have been too scared to. We get it. But we're now at our 12th victim alleged victim who's making these allegations. And that indictment look a whole lot thin because it only has one, which is Cassie. Obviously, a civil suit, these are allegations, just like a criminal suit, except, civil suit is the pursuit of money or some type of restitutional, compensation. I'm wondering if these people tried to get this guy locked up, try to work with law enforcement. Has these claims been vetted by law enforcement, right? I think some of these people, remember I was saying to that guy that came on with, what's his name? I wasn't defending Diddy. I said, I personally believe that Lil Rod lawsuit, there's probably some truth mixed in with the lies. But I do think if these civil suits aren't like bare bones of just factual information, you also put the feds in a pickle, right? Because if they use you as a victim, you filed a lawsuit already. They're going to come back. Diddy's lawyers are going to use your lawsuit and be like, well, she made these accusations. Like for example, the Lil Rod lawsuit. He claimed he put pictures of women that were supposedly underage. Diddy's lawyers fired back, and the women themselves spoke out to say, hey, that was me in the picture. I'm not underage. So if he's a victim and you use him in a federal case, Diddy's lawyer's going to have a field day. Yo, hey, his victim lied already, or at least misrepresented the truth in the original filing. So I do kind of wonder why we aren't seeing these mountains of women represented in the criminal case against Diddy. Now, granted, and we have to be fair, it's early. A superseding indictment is going to come. And I think there's going to be a new wave of victims. And I think those victims, we're going to then look into their stories a little bit more, because a lot has been made about the Cassie stuff, which rightfully so, because I think we all agree that Cassie was going through some shit, right? Even if you believe some stuff was consensual, you're like, come on, bro, this nigga was beating her ass. He was doing a lot. That boy was going crazy on Cassie, right? Cool. But yeah, this one basically says that she was a victim up until July. His house got raided in March. It was announced that there was a grand jury being impaneled in May. So she was still being victimized. I'm wondering how she gets a lawyer to file a civil suit and doesn't just go screaming at the HSI and the DA, or not the DA, the AUSA, to say, hey, I'm one of the victims right now. Anyway, regardless, and these are just things to think about. The lawsuit's popping up now. Okay? Cool. The lawsuit includes startling allegations, including claims that Combs forced an unnamed woman to have vaginal intercourse without her consent, drugging her and impregnating her. The lawsuit alleges that Combs and his staff recorded. Now, this is going to be very important. What hasn't been made about, Damian Williams, the guy who's the AUSA, he has not specifically spoke to what has been found on the seized surveillance tape, or what has specifically been found on the seized electronic devices. Now, if we're hearing that Diddy was like this guy who used to film, and we've heard it even in the indictment and other allegations in terms of the civil suits, that he was doing it like he thought he was a Steven Spielberg of porn, are there videos? Did he do a clean sweep? Like, I would imagine like Diddy's he's far from dumb. But he definitely was arrogant. You don't think that when he started seeing, like, this to me would be the ultimate, show of arrogance. You get sued by Cassie and you pay up in a day. Subsequent lawsuits start coming out, and you still got the videos. You shouldn't even have any video of you having sex. All those should be like, again, niggas gonna try to cover up their crime. You would think, all right, everything's deleted. This is the reason why police do raids, right? And they do it as quickly as possible, like before you could delete it. So before you could delete it, before you could tamper with anything, we got you, nigga. There was like 4 months. Like, I can't imagine, which maybe he's probably still didn't do it, because probably that arrogance. Now, again, that baby wolf thing is a little bit, circumstantial, right? Because, again, me just personally, I just don't identify that with just as a sex product or a freak-off product. But obviously, the enormity, 1,000 bottles of baby oil looks crazy, right? Maybe he didn't give a fuck, right? Because if just on an optic level, right? Even if you're doing some consensual kinky thing, you have these little pink handcuffs, little pink handcuffs you get from Spencer. Nigga, that's the time to throw them bitches away. Like, you don't, in case the feds ever come in, you don't want them to look like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, was this part of, like, you want everything to be clean. So maybe Diddy didn't delete anything, but we haven't heard any specific word about what was found, or even if there was an allegation to the fact of, Diddy deleted it, or no, he cleansed his whole surveillance system before the feds got in there, right? It looks like they got some shit, but they haven't told us what. But we keep hearing about him recording these sexual encounters, right? And apparently it was without her consent, and he caused her to be afraid for her safety and anxiety and depression. The lawsuit also alleges that Combs continued to contact the alleged victim in order to control her actions and autonomy. Okay, so maybe she was one of the people that he was contacting after the lawsuit to be like, yo, anybody reach out to you? Any feds? You good? Who knows? In a statement provided to USA Today on Friday, Jane Doe's attorney from New York-based firm Nipolai Shiknulik called out Combs and said no one's above the law. Powerful figures in entertainment have long exploited artists and fans. Recent high-profile lawsuits aim to hold these celebrities accountable, potentially transforming industry practices and providing justice for victims. Attorney Marie Napoli said in a statement, "Fame and wealth do not protect Sean Diddy Combs from serious allegations of sex trafficking and abuse." And Diddy's lawyer didn't respond for comment. He could talk about the baby oil, not about his new charge, at least yet. I'm playing around because they probably reach out to him like 5 minutes before they publish this. Jane Doe first met Diddy in the fall of 2020. Overseas after he invited her on a trip, the lawsuit alleges. After visiting him in 2022 in Miami, the lawsuit says she woke up and her feet were purple, bruised with a bite mark on her heel, stating that she was unaware how she got the injuries. The lawsuit states that the Jane Doe was compelled to ingest an unknown substance before learning that it contained the drug ketamine and or other substances, which led to her blacking out, losing consciousness intermittently. Later, she took a pregnancy test, which was positive. The lawsuit alleges the City Girls rapper Young Miami, whose legal name is Carisha Brownlee and is the apparent ex-girlfriend of Combs, harassed Jane Doe, repeatedly calling her and telling her to have an abortion. The Jane Doe later had a miscarriage and claimed she did not speak to Combs or a member of his camp for 3 months. USA reached out to Carisha for comment. She has not responded yet. Then in late 2022, the lawsuit alleges that Combs began communicating with Jane Doe again, beginning to compelling her to travel with him again. He would harass her through text messages, calls, third parties, until she agreed, according to court filings. During her visit to Combs, the lawsuit states he made the alleged victim perform a show for him, giving her alcohol and other substances until she ultimately passed out. Then she would wake up with no recollection of what had occurred and how she got the injuries. The alleged behavior continued until July of this year. During an instance in July, the lawsuit states that Jane Doe tried drinking water, which tasted strange, and made her feel unwell. The next morning, she felt ill and confused and could not remember what happened the night before, and the bedroom was in disarray. The lawsuit alleges that during the 4-year span, Combs consistently pressured her into the bedroom, adding other men and women, despite her saying she did not want others involved. He made threatening jokes, and the alleged victim feared for her safety. If she failed to comply with his demands, the lawsuit said, noting that she was also forced to witness him slap and abuse other women. The lawsuit also alleges that Combs tracked her location, monitored her conversations. He would refer to her statements made by her when Combs wasn't present. Okay, so he was tracking conversations. He discouraged the alleged victim from working, the lawsuit states, and when she would try to be financially independent, Combs would pay an allowance as a form of control. Do y'all think that she was telling Diddy, yo, Diddy, I want to get a job, and Diddy's like, no, you can't get a job. Take this allowance. Possibility. Who knows? I mean, I could see it. I see a lot of girls on the gram. They're usually begging to get a 9-to-5, a job. It's usually just men who are usually telling those same women, please don't work. Just take pictures on the gram, third straps, and I'll pay you an allowance. Makes sense to me. The alleged victim is seeking an unspecified amount of damages from Combs. The lawsuit is one in a long list of legal troubles for the Hollywood heavyweight producer. He's currently in custody after 2 judges denied his legal team's argument for release on a $50 million bond. Okay. Is there anything else about the civil suit? Okay. So, this is what I'm getting from this, okay, people? This might be a victim. This might be a victim, people. However, we don't know. And I think what we could possibly say at this point is that 12 allegations, Diddy, you a creep. Now, him being a creep, is he a sex trafficker? That should be proven in court. Is he a R word? That should be proven in court. But we're hearing, if you hear 12 people say a weird story about a person, I think we could say that nigga weird, right? That nigga's creepy. As far as breaking the law, we should leave that up to the people who will ultimately decide that, which would be a jury of his own peers, and subsequently the judge who will potentially sentence him. All right. Now, what's happening, however, is that all the victims are coming out the woodworks, and this becomes something very interesting, right? Because you don't want to ever tell someone they're not a victim, but you also could have the normal questions. Well, why didn't you come out earlier? Why are you waiting until now? Their response could be, well, we were in fear, he was free, he could have done something to us. And, at this point, it feels like the end game. It felt like, you remember when Bill Cosby were getting 2 or 3 people a day just accusing him? Well, we now have apparently 50 women, which seems like almost damn near a class action lawsuit. There's another lawyer. He's repping supposedly 50 victims. See, a Houston-based law firm has represented more than 50 alleged victims who say they have faced sexual assault and abuse from Diddy. Damn, Diddy body count is crazy, ain't it? Yo, how does 50 people even link up with one lawyer? What the hell? 50 victims who say they have faced sexual assault and abuse from Diddy and his associates, and they're predicting the group will keep growing as the case progresses. Attorney Tony Busby has made some serious allegation in his firm's IG posted, and we're going to read that in a bit, saying the group of men and women who came forward, keep in mind, men and women, who came forward have gut-wrenching stories about what went down at Diddy's alleged freak-off parties. He detailed the alleged mind-boggling violations against them as debauchery and depravity exacted by powerful people. He claims that some of the accusers were minors, and that's going to be a very big thing. I do think, if anything, the prosecutors have to be seeking out minors who have credible stories that could be vetted and could be used in a court of law against Diddy, because I think absolutely if there is one undeniable victim that happens to be a minor, he probably won't proceed to trial at that point, right? Because, the whole sex trafficking thing, I believe, even with his lawyer saying he's going to take the stand, it's about it's circumstantial in the sense of Diddy's going to say, we've seen his lawyer kind of roll out the red carpet for this defense already. This whole thing with Cassie is that we were in a toxic relationship. She put her hands on me. I put my hands on her. And I'm pretty sure Diddy's going to, if he gets on the stand, he's going to admit to beating her, right? It is what it is. Obviously, that's not what he's going to potentially face the majority of the time for. So he's going to, to be believable, you're going to have to say some shit. You got to admit to some shit you did. I'm pretty sure he's going to say, yeah, we put hands on each other. But the reality of this is that we were in love. And, was I a faithful man? No. Did I find out that she was unfaithful? Yeah. And we eventually fell apart. We had certain kinks in certain ways that we made love consensually for years. And it was only after her fate and circumstances changed when I left her, or we exited the relationship, and she got with the person she was cheating on me with, and she fell on hard times. She then decided 6 years later that all the things that we did for 10 years were not consensual and that she was forced. That's what I believe is going to be the story. But it's the story for Cassie, or that's the defense that I think they're going to roll out for Cassie. If there's a minor in there, there is no defense for that. You should never been with them. The only thing you can say is oh, they lied to me. No. If there's a minor in this, it's over. It's just you know what I mean? Obviously, you could try to do the thing like R. Kelly at first, oh, no, I didn't fuck her, right? But knowing Diddy, if the guy's one of those guys who records everything, keeps a paper trail, probably talks crazy, other people could, other witnesses probably have heard him say, yo, I fucked the shit out of her. Probably brought in male escorts with that person who may have been underage. Yeah, he's just cooked. He's just cooked. So the minors are going to be a huge thing if it actually comes out to be true. but we haven't seen minors being included yet in the criminal case that we should point out. Okay. Now, Busby's actually said he's not filed yet, but he intends to file a class action lawsuit. I've never seen a class action lawsuit of sexual abuse and assault. That sounds crazy. Usually it's like you file a class action lawsuit against Apple. You're like, yo, Apple told me my battery time was supposed to be this. It's actually not that. They lied. Enough customers are feeling like that. One lawyer represents the whole cause. They go get the money or get the settlement from Apple. Usually see it with more of companies and products or products or services. Usually don't see it with a single individual, even though he did have a whole organization around him. You don't see it on a single level with like, this is a class action lawsuit about Diddy's penis. That is crazy, right? Anyway, they apparently intend to file next week. And they're saying that there's no known evidence supporting his allegations right now, nor no previous lawsuits or even federal indictment allege that. Actually, that's false because Lil Rod did before he was corrected. We reached out to Diddy Camp for comment. I haven't heard anything back. By the way, we haven't heard any lawyers speak up, even like his civil attorneys who should be taking care of these matters. They haven't issued any comment about anything. Whether it's the Dawn Richards one, whether it's the Jane Doe one, or whether the last one that just came out too. Okay. Let's read this then. It says the Busby law firm has been associated by the Ava Law Group to act as a lead counsel to pursue claims on behalf of more than 50 individuals who suffered sexual assault and abuse at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs and his cohorts. The group of brave individuals include men and women, many who were minors, and the abuse when the abuse occurred. Some of these brave individuals reported the incidents to the police. Oh, wow. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Others did not. Each individual story is gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. The acts complained of occurred at hotels, private homes, and also infamous P. Diddy freak-off parties. The violations against this group of individuals are mind-boggling and can only be described as debauchery and depravity exacted by powerful people against minors and the weak. I expect the group seeking redress will grow as this case progresses. I expect many other individuals will be implicated. We expect to have a press conference early next week where some of these stories can be told as the nation learns more and grapples with the potential scope of the scandal. Our firm has always been at the forefront of the most important cases in the United States. We're proud to represent this group and brave souls and pray for justice on their behalf. If you know of an individual seeking assistance who was abused or described above, please don't hesitate to contact or encourage them to contact our firm. The consultation is confidential. Okay. I'm wondering how that goes. I probably should talk to a civil attorney about it. Because if I'm a victim of Diddy, I don't know if I want my cases with 49 other people, right? Because here's the thing about class action cases, right? Or cases with multiple, plaintiffs. If you got two liars in the bunch, it makes your case look weak too, right? If you got people who their cases are weak, if you have a strong case, why you want to stand next to them? You want to stand by yourself. Also, here's the thing too. This might be a play to try to get a settlement. Like maybe Diddy says, yo, I'll cut a $4 million check for everybody, right? Y'all break it up however y'all break it up, right? Maybe that's a way to avoid going to court, right? No, just avoid going to court. You just pay the settlement. That's what usually class action lawsuits end up, they get settlements or, through an arbitration, they'll get settlements or, they usually don't try to go to court in completion because of the enormity of how many victims, usually the judges are going to slam them if they get found guilty. So it's a way to kind of get settlements. But I'm wondering how closely these people are to the situation, or have they just been to a Diddy party? Because it almost feels like a slightly solicitation to say, hey, have you gone to a Diddy party and woke up and you got too lit and you think he drugged you? Well, you're a victim too. Holla at us, right? So I don't know. So it could be all valid, could be majority valid, some BS mixed into it, but you get leverage of more people. I don't know. The mere fact that there's 50 people, though, is very concerning for Diddy, clearly, but everything that's concerning. I do have to believe that at this point for Diddy, I believe that without a doubt, bankruptcy is on the horizon eventually. I think he's going to fight these things vigorously. I think no more settlements. Cassie got the one and only. Everybody else is going to have to come to get judgments. He's going to use all his cash to fight the federal case. That might not turn good. But even if he does beat that case, his reputation is so tarnished, no one will ever forget all this whole dragging of him for the last year or so, that essentially his ability to earn or keep up, even though, by the way, he's downsized a lot of his life. And let's say, the thing with civil suits, it doesn't mean that he's guilty. It means that, that's why they're getting these personal injury lawyers. It just could mean that he's provided an environment for them to get harmed in. Could be by his associates. It could be, okay, you allowed her to fucking fall off your yacht, bust her face after you gave her alcohol to impair her, and you had a slippery. It could be anything, right? So I do think that if he's going to fight all these cases, these are millions of dollars to pay lawyers. Let's say even half of them get a win. Or let's say not even half. Let's say 1/10. By the time all this is done, he's going to have exhausted like $300, $400 million. Like, how much you think Diddy really got in liquid? Right? Who's making the cash now for them? Who do you think Justin Combs is? Who do you think Christian Combs is? Who do you think Quincy is? Like, he's been the breadwinner. Like, everybody's been really living off his wealth. He has some equity in some companies, but eventually, he's going to have to probably get out of those positions or move around a little bit. It's very possible that what's most likely going to happen with some of the damages that are going to be sought after by these people, bankruptcy. So even if he does beat the case, I would think at this point, and this is why I think we're seeing the class action lawsuits, we're going to see everybody who will probably, and I'm not saying it will ever stop, but we're going to see a lot more lawsuits in the next 6 months to a year. Because if you don't get in this next year, he has so many other lawsuits he's going to file or fight. By the time you even get a judgment, even if you're right, even if he did do it, even if he does get found guilty of it, you're not going to get no money. He's going to file bankruptcy. I can't pay this, judge. Yo, I owe $1 billion. I can't pay. I don't have $1 billion. I'm in bankruptcy now. They're going to come to you and be like, well, he owes this in taxes. He owes this here. He owes this here. He owes these people here. They're all more important than you. You file late, this and third. So these people get paid first. So at this point, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not encouraging anyone to sue him or not. But I think these people are the stragglers. I'm going to be honest with you. He has 12 lawsuits already. You're telling me 50 more people want to get paid too? You're telling me that and by the way, there's another one that just popped up too. Check this out, chat. It's another one. Look. There's some more stuff about underage girls. Talking about Diddy's accused of luring underage girls into his freak off using drugs and candy. Now, this sounds crazy. Candy? Like, bro, what is this? Candy? Yo, here's your Snickers. Come, yo, you know what I mean? Come let my escort nut on your face. What? What type of, this sounds wild. How do you lure people into a freak off with candy? Yo, here's some Skittles. Yo, come back here to this room and let's get in this freak off. You could taste the rainbow. Like, what? How do you do that? It sounds crazy. Candy? Here's a Kit Kat. Come in this room with me and Cassie. You could take a break. What? The fuck is this? Yo, here's a Hershey's Kiss. But come back in this freak off. You could kiss this dick. What type of shit is this? Chat, what's going on? You're luring people. Now I'm having the craziest thought in my mind. Diddy being in that fucking ice cream truck like Big Worm, and all the kids running up, and him just handing out ice cream cones and ice cream sandwiches and saying, "You want to come back to a freak off?" Sound like something from the movie It. What is this, chat? Chat, what's going around? What's going on? Anyway, so Radar Online ran this story. And I did tell you, right now for media, like I haven't went on Radar Online in a while, but shit, it's their time to get a good story out now. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can find it. They got an exclusive on the Diddler. They're also, they also ran this story that Diddy's infamous stash of 100,000 bulk bought lube bottles are feared to be disguised as liquid date rape drug. What? Okay, damn. Fuck, you never know. You never fucking know, chat. Let's see if we can find it. The candy sounds crazy. Look at this. Yo, chat, this sounds crazy. Sean Diddy Combs allegedly targeted underage girls to attend his freak-off parties, lured them in with drugs and candy. Nigga, what? Radar Online can reveal that the disgraced rapper 54 is facing scrutiny over the age of the partygoers he allegedly forced into performing at the X-rated bashes, prompting comparisons to the pedophile singer R. Kelly, who's serving 20 years in prison for child sex crimes. A singer who goes by the stage name of Good Friday, claims she attended a freak-off party when she was 16. Diddy gave her drugs, food, and candy to lure young women. What? Like the thought of that just sounds crazy. You want a pink Starburst? All right, cool. Come in this room. We're going to bust you out. What's going on? Candy? She also claimed the rapper chased her. What? Chased her when she tried to leave the party that he held at a Toronto hotel in the late 1990s. Said I went out the main door. The security guard stopped me. He stood in front of the main door and grabbed my shoulders like, you're not going nowhere. I wanted to leave the party to find my friend because I felt very uncomfortable with all these old men trying to touch me to get me to do things with them. I almost had a panic attack when I saw Diddy coming from the freak-off room. Obviously, security told him. I ran to press the elevator door, hoping it would come, but I would have to run down 20-plus flights of emergency exit stairs. He was kind of running towards me. The look on his face really terrified me. It was kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure others can explain the look of. I was in trouble for leaving. It was horrible. I was just praying that the elevator would come. I didn't have to talk to him. What? She claimed she met Diddy, previously known as Puff Daddy, when she was a part of a girl group who sang for the rapper to record a record signing. He later invited her to a 5-star hotel for an after party. She says, I told him we were only 16. He said, oh, okay, I don't check IDs at my parties. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this was a 90s thing. Remember I told you that. All them niggas in the 90s, you notice none of them ain't be like, yo, nah. That was, yeah. Friday admitted that she felt unsure about whether she should attend. But after being convinced by a friend, they decided to go and was later ushered into the bash by security guards. Explaining what the party was like, she said there were finger foods, candy, drugs, and drinks, none of which I touched in case there was something in them. Immediately felt like a piece of meat, very uncomfortable. Puffy was nowhere to be found. Men swarming us, offering us money, drugs, record deals. I declined all offers and tried to be around more women. After losing her friend at the party, she went to look for her and was banned from entering another room where the more debaucherous activities were going down, she claimed. I tried to open it, and the security guard immediately came in and said, what was I doing? And informed me that I wasn't allowed to go in that room until I was invited by Puffy to the other party. That's what the security call freak-offs, the other party. Diddy has faced previous claims that he exploited underage women at his parties, namely in a lawsuit by his old foe Ronnie Lil Rock Jones last March, which accused the rapper of regularly partying with sex workers and underage girls. He also claimed Diddy would make attendees of his party sign non-disclosure agreements. Jones accused the musician of threatening to force minors into commercial sex acts. Interesting.
You back in your bag.
I'm back in my bag.
Stay in your bag. Stay in your bag. you know you could fall out your bag, but you could get back in it though too.
Hey y'all, what's up? So we on set of my new podcast called Carisha Please. Carisha Please is my shit. It's
Your
my
shit.
show where we do things real, raw, and uncut. We ain't sugarcoating shit, and we get to all the smoke. So today's guest, we got the one on.
Owned by black. Buddy, on this run right here, we're gonna go with Diddy.
And that's final.
Yeah, that's final, but you could call me Lovey.
Time.
Okay.
So, right?
You can sing?
We're good. Tiana.
Yeah. Phew. At first, I would just like, I cried for like 3 months straight. I would just be like walking around crying. I always loved Tequila and how they feels, and because like that was a real traumatic story. You know? like I was traumatized from those roaches, and it's when I heard it first, I was just like, man, she just went and just didn't know how that really traumatized me. And I remember calling you, I was like, you know, like the roaches thing was a traumatic situation for me. And you was just laughing. And I was like, you know, the Buenos Noches though, I was like, you must be talking about you.
Like, what's up? How you felt about it? What it was about?
I mean, it was messy. You know what I'm saying? It was messy, and I just, you know.
The smoke.
Yeah, let's get to the smoke.
What's up? You ready?
Yeah, let's smoke it up.
So when you woke up and we was trending, like, what's up? How you felt about it? What it was about?
I mean, it was messy. You know what I'm saying? It was messy, and I just, you know, it's one of those days, you know, and so had to polish things up, had to press the reset button, boom, and keep it moving. Cause I'm not trying to get messy, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to just live my life and have a good time and stay out the way, but do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Oh, okay, so you acting bad.
Acting all the way bad.
So what the fuck you got going on? What's your relationship status? You Mr. Act Bad?
I'm single, you know. I'm single, but I'm dating. I'm just.
You know what's so funny? You could tell she hurt by that.
I'm single, you know.
The look of rejection and hurt, man.
Single, but I'm dating. I'm just taking my time with life.
Okay. So what we is?
We date. We dating. We go have dates. And we friends.
Okay.
We go to exotic locations. We have great times. We go to strip clubs, church.
Freak offs.
I'm gonna take you to church.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, like, what you like about me? Cause people be like, she ain't his type. He wouldn't talk to her. So, what is it about me that you like about me? Like, why you fucking with a city girl?
I mean, cause you're authentic. You know, you're like one of the realest people I ever met. You know what I'm saying? And you're authentically yourself, and you're a great mother, and you know, a great friend. We just have a good time. You know, we have
Is that fun?
Time. Yeah, you the funnest. You the funnest. Young Miami. Woo! But then also then you Carisha, and then so you know.
So who Carisha is?
Carisha, I get advice from Carisha. You know what I'm saying? Carisha tell me like, yo, don't be in your head, and you know, you're just a good friend. Everybody that's a friend of yours will tell you like that you're a great friend.
Do you consider yourself toxic? Because you call yourself love. So do you consider yourself toxic? Like, would you say you toxic?
Yeah, I would say that it gets toxic. I'm not trying to be toxic, though.
But are you toxic?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like at times, but I'm not trying to like give that, you know.
So, like, what was our first date? And can you talk about how we met?
Wow. What? Our first date. I'm supposed to take you surfing.
Interesting. Interesting. Chat, I've seen the news come down. Chat, there's a Philadelphia rapper named Skrilla. I don't know if you've heard about this, but allegedly, I don't know if this is true, so this is reported. They're saying Skrilla got shot in Chicago while in Bloodhound territory, chilling with Bloodhound Q50 and Brandon Buckingham. Now, shout out to my man Brandon Buckingham, promote peace and positivity, and according to him, he's always outside and in the trenches. Shout out to that man, okay? Apparently they were filming a vlog, probably something of the sort that went down with YBC Doe. They're saying the shooter got shot in the head. Interesting. Okay. I'll, pray for peace and it befuddles me why that would happen. It's completely mind-blowing that maybe cities have kind of seen that a nigga coming to do a documentary in the hood and try to make one group of people look like they're the guys, and they're going to get embarrassed when that video comes out on the internet. Might not want that to happen. I don't know. But again, I got to give Brandon Buckingham his flowers. He got feet on land, and good for him. You know what I mean? Like, this is his lane. I wonder if the vlog's going to include the hospital footage. I don't know. All right. I'm hearing, supposedly, there's a news report of this. See what's going on.
A lot of what happened remains under investigation, but this does appear to have been an ambush of some sort. The owner of the building across the street telling ABC7 that his surveillance video shows the vehicle with the shooters parking in his lot about 40 minutes before a group of 5 or 6 hooded men jumped out and opened fire.
We have the person from Knox being transported to Masonic with the grave wound to the neck.
Detectives were still on the scene early this afternoon as they continued to investigate an overnight shooting that left 4 men injured as they walked down the sidewalk in front of Fort Knox Studios in the old Irving Park neighborhood around 2:30 a.m.
And all of a sudden I woke up and heard gunshots, and it sounded like automatic machine guns or something going back and forth.
And while officially police say they're still investigating the circumstances, overnight scanner traffic relayed what appeared to be a first-hand account from one of the injured.
All we have is that this gentleman said that he was shooting a rap video. He's a videographer. He walked out, and he heard they shot about 30 to 40 shots. He doesn't know the make of the model, doesn't know any of that. He just said they went the length of the street and were just shooting, and he caught one in the neck.
According to the owner of the music studio, while the building was already closed at that time, one of his long-term tenants with overnight access was using one of the many recording studios inside at the time of the incident. The injured appeared to have been among that tenant's guests, but he says he does not know who they were or what exactly they were doing. Police say the victims are 4 men between 20 and 25 years old. Their injuries at this point do not appear to be life-threatening.
That's good. Not life-threatening. Apparently, they're saying it was 4 victims walking on the sidewalk. They were shot. They're saying that they were doing a vlog. It's kind of sad, man. My man Brandon be trying to push a lot of peace and positivity. I don't know why the hell people would be trying to introduce gunshots and violence around him. I don't know. They're saying, let me see what happened. Okay, everybody was in, it's reasonably young guys, 24, 25, and 20 and 24. Oh, wow. Jesus Christ. Detectives are looking into it. Wow. Okay. I seen another thing. I think they described the injuries as some people got. It says so somebody had the drop on them. I guess while they're doing one of these videos. I guess somebody jumped out, tried to kill him. Okay, here we go. Police say 2 men were transported to the area hospitals by Chicago Fire Department. One with a grazed wound to the left arm, another one with a grazed wound to the neck. Both are listed in good condition. Glory be to God. The other 2 men were driven to the area hospitals, police say, one with gunshot wounds to the butt and one to the groin area, and one with gunshot wounds to the butt and the left leg. Glory be to God, they're in good condition. All right? Yeah. Listen, man, to you hooligans and hoodlums, leave my man Brandon Buckingham alone. He's only trying to promote a lot of peace and positivity, showcasing O-Block, Philly. I'm pretty sure Jacksonville will be next. I can't even see why. I can't wrap my head around why there would be violence or shootings. They're just doing a little vlog, kind of showcasing city pride. Like, what's the problem, right? Okay. Shout out to my man, Feet on Land. I like it. There's some videos. Videos of, you know what I mean, him supposedly being in the trenches. Oh. He was rocking the O-Block chain. And I'm not going to lie, man. Chat, I'm here to tell y'all. I've never been more jealous of going to Chicago. You know, it's kind of unfortunate that he gets to touch the Mecca, O-Block. And me, I've yet to go. And I don't plan to go ever in life.
Baby SB. Oh, white. When you took in the middle of the day, that camera. Hold on.
It's like a peace walk. Like who's shooting this shit up? Like, this is a peace walk.
This shit up on the yeah. Get my boy in the trenches. O-Block. Real O-Block on him. 3 a.m. O-Block.
I'm phone him. 3
a.m. 3 a.m. We in a rack. 3 a.m. on O-Block. My boy put up on the.
Hey, I hope that mic is bulletproof.
Check that out. My shorty out there. Air Force Tony Montana right now. What you got on your wrist, boy?
Not the rollie on the wrist. Cartier on the face. I ain't gonna lie. I've gained a lot of respect for Brandon Buckingham. Real talk. I've realized, and I do want to take back all my statements about him. I realized I was misguided. Brandon Buckingham is the truth. His type of journalism has been needed in the culture for a very long time. I think he's going to impoverished neighborhoods, organizing peace walks, giving back to the communities, giving out turkeys, kissing babies, and also mending, quelling, violence and tension among people who are beefing in usually a very close block proximity. For that, it's kind of unfortunate that it takes a white man to go into our neighborhoods, to have men put the guns down, drop the violence, squash decades and decades of revenge, killing, and beef. And, sometimes maybe God sent, he might be Jesus. So I do want to say, Brandon, I apologize for ever doubting your methods. Clearly, every hood in America needs you. And I'm hoping, this unfortunate incident does not deter you, but only encourages you. Jacksonville is waiting. Bompton needs you. I do need you to go to, there's a few places in New Orleans. Definitely need you. I got a spot in Baton Rouge. They need you too, okay? Cleveland don't need you no more. The cops handled that one. But we do have a few places. I forget, one of them wards in Houston needs you as well. Thank you for doing what a coward like me would never be able to do, right? So thank you, my brother.
Hey, we finna have a little eaters. Give you some neck. Check it out. Check it out, man. Your ass for the fall. You said the sun finna come out? We fucking night owls, man.
Yeah. Yeah, talk to the camera.
We in the fucking jungle.
Damn.
Oh, what the hell? My bad. Oh yeah, he's just he's not doing what you think he's doing. He's that's how they do communion in the hood. You go to church and ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You know what I mean? You break the, you eat the little thingy and then you drink the wine and that's communion. He was doing the O-Block version of communion. That was communion, people. That's not what you think it is. You feel what I'm saying? Hope Skrilla was all right.
You gave him enough.
Look that up.
I ain't gonna lie.
Got my nigga Brandon with me.
Damn, I wonder who he's smoking on. This is what bravery looks like.
Beautiful area. Got my nigga Brandon with me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who he smoking on?
Yeah. This is where we at. It's safe over here, y'all.
Brandon's there. He's there to bring the peace. Of course it's safe. Why would we assume it's not safe?
And I'm trying.
Make a big nigga sit.
What the? Oh my god. All right. So. Okay. Okay. Cool. I would say pray for peace, but whoever those men were that hopped out that vehicle, whoever those men were, I would normally advocate jail and hard labor for hooligans and thugs like you. But I have to admit, my methods are a little bit too corny. I don't got feet on land. Whoever shot that spot up, please, I got an email address for y'all. Y'all need to contact Brandon Buckingham. He's going to come interview y'all next. He gotta get the scoop on that. That's definitely real journalism. Feet on land, okay? So Brandon, I'm gonna listen. This is an open call for the niggas who hopped out that car, did that shooting. All y'all holla at me. I'm gonna set y'all up on y'all next interview because Brandon got to spin the block. He got the old blockchain now. He got to hop over to y'all section that y'all could tell him the real. You know, he could break bread, do some communion with y'all, and just do real journalism. I like this.
So as everybody knows, Diddy, aka the Diddler, he has finally been locked up. And it's been crazy ever since. I'm not gonna lie. Now, you feel me? He's in prison, or let me rephrase, jail, on suicide watch. You feel me? That's kind of a crazy life. You go from being a billionaire, mansions all over the world, having freak offs, you feel me, with women and men, you feel me, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Man, even though I do think Diddy is very, 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 very guilty, I want to ask one thing. If what Diddy did is considered sex trafficking, isn't like what every like high profile entertainer who like fly women from Instagram like all over just for sex trafficking as well? Like that's a question I just want to ask, you feel me? Because you gotta call a spade a spade. If Diddy's doing it, then you gotta look at almost every celebrity who does the same thing, or who throws big parties, and you feel me, women pull up and they do crazy freaky stuff at those parties, bro. Like, I don't know. So like, and I only asked that because I really sat there and thought to myself, like, man, I don't necessarily feel bad for Diddy, and I don't think Diddy is a good person. And I think he probably, when they really investigate deeper into Diddy, they're going to find way other stuff besides all this freak stuff that he probably did do. Man, this freaky stuff and all the allegations and stuff, like how you see all the executives and stuff stepping down. Diddy is coming, bro. I no Diddy, but Diddy is coming, no Diddy. I think he's gonna expose everyone, and like labels are scared and they're trying to get rid of everyone and everything. If Diddy ends up like the dude, who's that one dude with the island who killed himself? If Diddy ends up like that, we should not sit there and act surprised, you feel me? But it's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'd say pray for Diddy. Honestly, pray for Diddy, man. He probably needs it right now. He's probably fiending. Probably Meek Mill's on the phone with him, trying to keep him calm. Feel me? He's probably telling Meek Mill, send me some pics over. You feel me? I miss you. I like when you do it like that. But you feel me? It's your boy Big X News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.